Have you ever thought about why your city is the way it is? I have. Like a lot of you, I live in a small suburban town just outside of a major city. Now, my city's pretty new. It was made in the 1960s, but even if your city's a bit older, it probably looks the same as mine. It's actually what a lot of suburban neighborhoods look like. Here's a little bit of history. After World War II, Americans wanted to maintain their booming wartime economy to avoid falling back into the Great Depression. One way they did this was by promoting the American dream, the idea that every family should own a large house, a car, have 2 kids, and a dog. Only if you're white, of course. More on that later. Now add the American Highway Act in the 1950s and cars becoming cheaper and faster. Suddenly, it's easy to live far away from work and just take a drive. And so the American dream began to shape our cities. What's so wrong with that? A lot. A lot is wrong with that. The suburbs are characterized by low density development, which really just means everything is spread out. Stores are far from neighborhoods, are far from jobs, and so on. We end up needing more and longer car trips to get to the places we want to be. The suburbs are growing more in size than in population. Chicago saw its size increase by 46%, but only saw a population increase of 4%. That's a footprint growing 11 times faster than its population. We call this urban sprawl, when the growth of a city exceeds its own needs. The result of modern city development is car-centered places, and many of us probably don't see an issue with this because we don't know anything different. Here, let me show you what our cities could look like. This is where I've been living the past few months, and I love it here. I've actually been here all video, but you don't need to know that. My only car trips have been to places I can't otherwise walk to, like my home 6 hours away. And there's no public transportation over here, so my only option is a car. In fact, I don't even know where my car is right now. I should probably get on that. Anyways, I'm able to walk anywhere I want to go. I have to go to class, 3 minutes that way. Food, 5 minutes this way. Gym, that's an 8-minute walk over there. I have everything I need nearby, and I don't need to touch a single car to get there. You probably think, of course I'm able to walk everywhere. I'm on a college campus, and college campuses are meant to be super walkable. And while you're not wrong, there are plenty of real cities around the world that show this kind of urban design. Amsterdam, Tokyo, and almost anywhere in the Netherlands, and so many other cities show us what good urban planning looks like. And what makes these cities so special is that they have infrastructure that accommodates multiple forms of traffic, not just cars. Bikes, pedestrian paths, and even public transportation allow people to choose how they get to their destination based on cost, speed, and their own personal preferences. Some American cities are catching up too. New York is beginning to implement protected bike lanes, closing off streets to cars, and is even planning to implement a congestion toll. But why is the American dream so bad? I mean, most Americans live in the suburbs, so that must mean people like the suburbs, right? Not really. Cities make it illegal, or just really difficult to make anything but low-density, single-family homes. Home buyers don't really have much of a choice. We end up being totally reliant on our cars to go anywhere. This especially hurts those who can't drive. That's mostly teenagers, the elderly, and people with disabilities. It's also expensive to buy a car, get good insurance, maintain the car, and buy gas. This places a serious strain on people living paycheck to paycheck, which happens to be most Americans. Then you pay all this money just to get stuck in traffic. Our cities make it hard to do basically anything. Either you take a long, uncomfortable walk along a busy road, or you get stuck in traffic in an expensive car on that same road. Plus, all this driving results in air, ground, and water pollution. Driving is one of the leading contributors to greenhouse gas emissions, so we should already be working on reducing our driving. Hey, remember when I said we get back to that racist part? Here we are. Most of the families in the suburbs are white, middle-class families. Here's some history for you. Black families were denied mortgages and had no access to homeownership in a practice called redlining. Also, when the highways were being built, planners designed them to pass right through minority neighborhoods and would separate them from the rest of the city. So, the American dream wasn't really available to all Americans until very recently. So how do we fix our cities? We fix our cities by reversing the damage that urban sprawl and the American dream have caused. But that is easier said than done. Change takes decades and millions of dollars. To what? Undo decades of progress? That's never gonna happen. But it can, and in many places, it's already happening. I've already mentioned New York once, as it's already introducing measures to combat traffic and repopulate its urban centers. And that's the key. To fix our cities, we need these key changes. We need to improve intracity connectivity. This could mean investing in greater connections to separated communities. This could also mean demolishing the highways that plowed through them in the first place. We also should improve pedestrian and alternate transportation infrastructure. By making walking and biking more accessible, we can encourage more people to walk and bike. But we can't only just make paths and sidewalks. We also need to reconsider zoning laws to allow different housing types, not just single-family homes and low-density commercial. Duplexes, triplexes, and small apartment buildings are just examples of higher density housing that are more affordable. Imagine having a small, 3-story building with a mom-and-pop restaurant on the first floor and some housing on the next two. Well, we don't actually need to imagine. This is a real thing, and it's good for cities. With development like this, we can essentially make people want to walk because everything they need will be nearby. Essentially, we just need to make places that people want to be in and make sure everyone has access to them. Let's put it all together now. Modern city development has given us two choices: walk along long, polluted sidewalks, or sit in a heavy, expensive metal box and be stuck in traffic for hours. Neither is great. But we're proposing a third: pleasant, walkable, and sustainable development that puts the needs of people over the needs of cars. And we know how to do it. We need to improve intracity connectivity, we need to improve infrastructure for alternative forms of transportation, and we need to rework zoning laws to allow the buildings that we want to see in our communities. That's everything for me. Thanks for watching. Welcome to the post-credit scene. I just want to say a few things. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. And also, a big thank you to my friend Emmie, who was recording me the whole video. I could not have done it without her. I also want to say, if you actually enjoy this topic, I really encourage you to go look up some more stuff on your own. I was not able to get as in-depth as I otherwise would have liked to. It's a short video. I have a week to make this. Not a lot of time. So really look up into the stuff your own. It's actually really interesting. Especially if you enjoyed this video, you're going to enjoy the more interesting stuff. So that's basically all I wanted to say. Thank you, and enjoy the bloopers. Did you record the clap?
No, record it.
Okay.
You can cut it.
Line 1 through 4. Shit. Cut.